Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. So I wanted to do a quick live stream. I am privileged and have the honor. Sarah Corriher, one of my favorite YouTube channels, is coming back on tonight with her first live stream after taking a little time off, and asked me to be a guest tonight. So I used to do a weekly show with her. We were going for about a month. So hopefully that's something that can get back to working. So I will be on her channel. The link is in the description, and I'm going to paste it also in the chat wherever you're watching. And it'll be on YouTube, so check that out. That's the link to where we'll be live at 10 p.m. Eastern time, so in about 50 minutes. Should be a great show. I think hers is a voice that we desperately need right now in a time where we see all of these events threatening to unravel the greatest country in the history of the world, the United States. We'll get through it. Voices like Sarah's is going to be a key in doing that. I think it's important to support independent content creator of all stripes, but I have to admit to being biased. She's one of my favorite. I think she's incredibly intelligent, and she comes at things from an angle that's level-headed and very smart to be able to articulate exactly what we should be doing and the problems we can see that's coming out of this movement to unravel the United States right now. So again, that's going to be Sarah Corriher's channel on YouTube. Link in the description, and I just put it up in the chat. So that's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So check that out. Other than that, I could stick around and chat for a minute if people like. I didn't really have my own material to do a show. I could talk to you a little about Saturday's radio program, which you could also find wherever you're watching this now. You'll be able to see my radio program with my good friends Todd Bartley and Carlos Saldivia. That's going to be every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I don't think we have a guest this weekend, but what we're going to do is have a celebration for the 4th of July. The birth of our nation, the 4th of July, very important day. Also happens to be my birthday. So I will be the ripe young age of 36. I always figured I'd live to 70. So more than halfway there, I guess, 36. So yeah, we're going to have a special show this Saturday where we're focusing on a lot of quotes from the Founding Fathers, quotes from the Declaration, the Constitution, and kind of saying how, isn't it amazing that the blueprint for how to survive all of these disasters we're facing right now was outlined at the very foundation of our country? It's amazing. So that's kind of what's me. Yeah, thank you, Freebird. Please follow me on DLive. Also, a bit of news. I got in touch with, on DLive, one of the bigger DLive people that's on there that's kind of doing news content is a channel named Marfugal. And I've actually been in contact with one of the founders of that. And hopefully I'll be partnering up with them soon. So that could improve my DLive subscriptions. I'm trying to get to 300 on DLive, which would be a big milestone for me because that would allow me to put my normal videos up on DLive as well. Because right now I can only put my non-live videos on YouTube. You need 300 subscribers before you could do that on DLive. And DLive's great because they don't censor people. And also, if you donate through their cryptocurrency of lemons that they have on there, I get 100% of that. As opposed to like if you donate through PayPal or YouTube or Patreon, all of those companies take a cut of it. So I really recommend checking out DLive. It's a growing platform. As far as I know, haven't censored anyone that I'm aware of. And so you don't have to worry if you're one of my friends on the left, like, well, do I want to join this right-wing platform? I don't think it's a right-wing platform. In fact, I think it's a platform that embraces the ideas that used to be considered left-wing, which was that of free speech and anti-censorship. So that's worth checking out. I'm also on locals.com. I need to start adding more material there. But yeah, 300, I'm hoping. Also, I'm really close to 2,000 subs on YouTube. All right, Dan Pete, yeah, a couple years older than me then, yeah. So, yeah, other than the radio show this Saturday, I'll probably be taking the rest of the weekend off. I don't anticipate doing anything tomorrow. I have a big day planned. I'm going out with my in-laws and picking out the sausages that we will be grilling Friday night. So it should be a good day. I'm excited. Meanwhile, my poor wife will be at work all day, making money to support my meat purchases, so... it should be a good day. But yeah, tonight's episode with Sarah is going to be great. We talked about what topics are we going to discuss. There's so much going on today. It's hard to fit it into one show. I mean, you got all of the censorship you have coming against right wing, which we knew was going to happen, and it's going to increase. It's going to amp up. The only reason I've avoided censorship, now I get kind of shadowed. What's up, Falcon Viking? Thank you. I kind of get on YouTube and places like that. They don't really promote me. So, and people get unsubscribed from me all the time, and everything's demonetized basically. But I haven't been outright censored because I'm not a big channel. Also, I'm on Twitch.tv. My Falcon Vikings on there right now. Thank you so much, Falcon. Twitch is a good platform for if you like watching people stream video games. Not really my forte, but also good for kind of more of a debate type crowd. There's a lot of debates that go on between the right and left there. I think it's heavily left wing, but maybe I'm just running in the wrong circles. You should check out the video I did today. You can find it on YouTube. It's inspired by Andrew Breitbart, and it is the idea that we need to start pushing back. So on Pennsylvania Patriot Radio, which is the network that I'm on with Carlos and Todd, that my radio show every Saturday, we call our show now, our Saturday show, Pushback, because one of the things that all three of us are frustrated by, so you have to understand, Carlos was a political consultant. That's where he's coming from. Todd's a journalist. And I am me. What am I? A healthcare worker at this point. Someone who ran for office, someone who just wants to speak up for working Americans. We all approach things from a slightly different angle, but all three of us realize in our particular 3 points of views that everyone else that's kind of in that realm with us is not pushing back on what we see as an attempted overthrow of this country, led by the establishment, but it goes through all sorts of venues. If you'd like, I don't know, there's only 70 here. And again, this is not a full-fledged episode of my show if you're new here. I just wanted to announce, again, I'll announce that the great Sarah Corriher, she's had to take a hiatus for a little, so she's coming back. Tonight's her first show back, and I'm honored that she asked me to do the show with her. So that's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Again, link in the description, and I'm putting it in the chat right now. So please check that out. Check her channel out. But while I'm just sitting here rambling, if you guys want, I could play, for the 7 of you listening, I could play that video. Let me make sure. By the way, last night when I was doing my live stream, hilariously enough, when I switched to the video here to play some YouTube videos, my mic wasn't on that stream, so I'm sitting here, blah, 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 running my mouth, and it wasn't working. Oh, I got confused there for a minute. So let's... Private material period, is there? That's Andrew Breitbart's face there. Let's play the video. Oh my goodness. Wait, there's gonna be... I've had it. I've had it of being called a racist. I've had it of being told that I'm somehow inferior, that I'm less educated, that I'm somehow a 10-toothed rube, like Rick Wilson said on CNN, that I'm a racist if I disagree with the disastrous positions of Black Lives Matter that would be bad not only for all Americans, but particularly for Black Americans. I'm tired of saying if I don't believe corporate-led revolutions, that somehow that makes me an immoral person. I'm tired of people saying that I have to cower down and shut my mouth or I'll lose my job if I don't cow down to this mob. I'm tired of having to say, yeah, I hear you. Maybe there's a case for tearing down Confederate statues. I don't care. I don't have any love for Confederate statues. I don't care. But I'm not going to give in to the mob. I'm tired of it. It's worth fighting for its own sake. We're not going to listen to a bunch of people that hate this country and want to overthrow it and return us to segregation and want to make us a globalist, fascist, Marxist society. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to calmly explain to people things like why toddlers shouldn't be able to vote and why you shouldn't be allowed to take people's property and we should have property rights. I'm tired of explaining to people why the police should arrest people that steal from stores, why they should arrest people that are skipping out on subway tolls. These are all conversations I've had this week. I'm tired. The people among us that know the least are the most arrogant and most confident that they know more than everyone else. I'm sick and tired of it. They don't live in the real world. Anyways, you get a little... I'm not going to go through it. You can check that video out, but that's on YouTube. And really, if you wanted to help me out, and you could donate money to me always, but you could also like and subscribe. And one of the big things you could do is those shorter form videos you can like and share. No one wants to watch me on these live streams other than the hardcores that come on here. But also, I would like to take this to grow my Discord channel where it could be a community where like-minded people could come together. And it's also going to be where I'm doing, hopefully, I'll be able to do a show a week where anyone who's in my audience that would like to join in will be able to join my Discord voice channel, and you could just join my show that way real quick without having to worry to call into a number or anything like that. So that's tentatively the plan. Now, some bad news I have, which is incredibly frustrating. So I had ordered a new computer. All things considered, it cost me around $1,300 after taxes. It's a new laptop because I know that I record both at home and at my work office when I'm done with work there. Unfortunately, we got the audio now. We're good? Okay. Unfortunately, with that computer, it was supposed to be in at the beginning of July, and now it's not going to be in until August. So it's really frustrating because the sooner I get that computer, the more I'll be able to live stream with guests, to host debates and things like that. With this current equipment I'm using, it's kind of impossible, but I'm trying to raise money for that computer. I kind of spent money I don't have to get that computer because I really needed it for the channel before I raised the money. So I'm attempting to raise the money. It was about $1,300. So far, I've raised about $400. So any donations would be greatly appreciated. As always, any donation goes right back into my channel. So thank you for those of you that have donated and those of you that support me in other ways. But yeah, I posted the Discord there in the chat. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's actually a really great program to have. It basically just lets someone like me set up my own chat server. So it's like a chat room, except I'm running it and people that I'm friends with, and we're our own moderators. And there's easy accessibility to be able to voice chat with people or video chat with people or just regular text chat. So yeah, please consider joining my Discord. There's a lot of like-minded people there, and there's people that are posting stuff completely without me that's just awesome content that they're providing and other things like that. So consider joining the Discord. Is anything anyone specifically wanted to talk about before I head out here and get ready for my show with Sarah? The big news of the day was Ghislaine Maxwell, I guess, being arrested. I tried to do a little road live stream about this. My short 30-second take on this is I'll believe that someone serious will go down when I see it other than her. But the big take to me is never forget with Epstein. I say this all the time. Even though I might not believe in the same conspiracies that some people, it's not that I don't believe. I don't follow some of the conspiracies that some of the people that follow me do. I tell you all the time, and I truly mean this, I will not pick on you for any conspiracy you believe, because it's the official narrative from our government agencies, from our media, from the experts that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. This is a lie so blatant, it's hard to stomach. We have to believe that the most important prisoner in the past 50 years, under protection of the strongest law enforcement agency, somehow managed to kill himself, managed to have 2 cameras malfunction, managed to have 2 inept guards be there, and managed to have other cameras not have tape that were pointing at the hallway. All of that happened serendipitously at the exact 5 minutes that he had an opportunity to kill himself. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. It's absolute garbage. And so my point is, never forget, we need to continue to mention Epstein for 2 reasons. Because he is connected to some of the most powerful people in the world, and they were engaged in the most heinous crime that can be committed by humans, and that is the destruction of younger people in the most heinous of ways. There is no crime that's more disgusting. So the worst crime committed by the most powerful people, that makes it one of the biggest stories in the history of the world. And they're getting away with it. And they killed Epstein to silence him so that the rest of these elites could continue to get away with that crime. So I guess round 2 with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it, if important people go down. But that's the first reason to talk about the story. But the second is, it's hard to explain to people in nuanced situations like COVID or Russiagate or the impeachment of Ukraine. The more complicated that the establishment is able to make a story, the harder it is to convince the average person of how corrupt they are. So with Russia, there's so many ins and outs and so many names. The average person that I'm explaining it to just says, whatever. I don't have time to learn all this. The same with impeachment. The same with COVID. So when you could really simplify and say, look, the exact same people that are trying to spin a story to you right now, that it's okay to go out hundreds of thousands of people in crowds to protest for Black Lives Matter, but it's not okay for you to go to your job. They muddle that debate. They say, but the experts, the medical experts say it's okay. That's a lie. It's a lie is what it is. But one of the ways you could convince people is all of these stories are interconnected. Is it any coincidence that the same people, the same experts that said, oh, COVID won't spread through Black Lives Matter protest, and we encourage people to go out and protest for Black Lives Matter, but you can't go to your job. Is it any wonder that they're the exact same type of people that are telling you nothing to see with Epstein? No, he killed himself. End of story. By the way, where are all these experts and all these people that are super concerned about the country and the media and academia and all of that? Where were they when Epstein was left off the hook in 2009? Huh. And isn't it weird? Epstein was hobnobbing with a bunch of them. Isn't that strange? So you could really use this as an opportunity to be like, look, I'm not saying you could, I've said this about the FBI. I'm not saying anything the FBI says is wrong. I'm saying that I no longer trust anything the FBI says. Until they show me physical proof, I don't believe them. That's how I feel about these COVID experts. When you've been wrong time after time, when you told us in January it's nothing to worry about, then you told us, oh, well, don't worry to go out and buy a mask. It's not that important and nurses need them. And then you say, oh, everyone has to wear a mask. It should be law that you wear a mask. And then you say, hey, you have to stay indoors. And then you say, but unless you're protesting for Black Lives Matter, then it's cool to go outdoors and be shoulder to shoulders with hundreds of thousands of people. And then you say, oh, there's an uptick in cases, but you ignore the fact that the death rate is plummeting rapidly and that the uptick in cases is almost directly correlated with the uptick in testing. Yes, cases have gone up, not as much as they did in April, not as much as they did in May, but we've almost doubled the amount of people we've tested. So yes, positive cases will go up, but people aren't dying at a higher rate. So when these experts leave that information that even a layman like me can see, and of course the most obvious that somehow this is the smartest virus in the world that only affects you by political ideology, I'm sorry, I'm not going to just believe the experts. And it's the same experts that say, hey, Epstein killed himself. The price for gold, $17.76, says Joe, just in time for the 4th. Awesome. What do I think about the NIH spiking the numbers? Yeah, of course. I mean, me and SJG did a thing the other day where he was showing a video in a particular county, Collins County, I believe, in Texas, where their chief health expert for the county was admitting that when they get a positive test for COVID, they do this contact tracing, and one positive COVID case, because of the questions they ask with the contact tracing, could actually be registered as 17 positive cases. So yeah, I mean, they're fudging the numbers left and right. They absolutely are. And I know that people on the left that I debate will say, how dare you say that? I could prove to you in my state, Pennsylvania, that they absolutely, at one point, they increased the number of fatalities of COVID by as high as 30%, and then had to retract those numbers because they made the mistake of accusing some of those deaths of occurring in Republican counties. And the coroners in these counties called out the governor and said, no, you just said that 7 people died last week in my county of COVID. That's not true. The correct number was 0. To which the state had to reply, oh, our bad, simple mistake. Now they learned their lesson, and they just inflate the numbers in the Democrat-controlled counties because they can trust that the coroners there are with them politically and understand that keeping us shut down as long as possible will harm the country and will lead to economic depression, which is good for the Democrats because then they think they could win the election. That's what this is about. It's all about maintaining power and control. And so they're fudging the numbers, just like they fudge the climate change numbers. Just like they fudge when the foreign policy experts tell you every 2 years we need to invade another country and have regime change. Just like they lied to you when they said, oh, the banks are too big to fail and we have to bail them out. But they all lie because they're all in this game together where they control all of these institutions. And then when you talk to someone on the left, they say, but all the institutions agree with you or disagree with you. They all say, oh, we had to bail out the banks. We had to invade Iraq. We had to help overthrow Libya. We had to mess with Syria. We can't pull out of Syria now. We had to shut down everything. The very people that are telling you, I've debated them like the past couple weeks over and over and over. I've debated people that say this. We have to do everything possible. Trump's so bad and his administration screwed up so bad. Now we just had to do everything possible to lock down. That was the only possible solution we had because Trump's so bad. Oh, really? Well, then how do you explain Democratic governors putting COVID positive patients in nursing homes with the most vulnerable of the populations, which resulted in those states as high as 70 to 80% of all deaths coming from the nursing homes. Well, we don't want to talk about that. Please. Trump, Trump, Trump. Everything's Trump's fault. Right, Joe. And do you think there's any... Do you think it's a little bit coincidental that they're pushing for this mask thing at the same time? Where they're doing everything they can to not cover the riots that are going on across the country from Black Lives Matter and Antifa? I showed you the other day, I showed you a little video from where Black Lives Matter was beating up this maybe homeless white guy. What's the first thing the entire crowd was yelling? Turn off the cameras. Don't record it. That's right. They want total anonymity while they beat you. They want you defenseless. They don't want the cops defending you. They don't want you to have the right to arm yourself and defend yourself, as we see with the couple in St. Louis. They don't want you to record them because they know that they'll be engaged in thuggish criminal activity to intimidate and attack you. And they want to wear masks at all times because that means that they further have anonymity to create havoc and cause crimes. So of course they're wearing masks. So, alrighty. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Consider donating to me. Whatever. I could use money for the computer, but really that video, I really like that video I just did. I apologize that it swears, but that video on YouTube, my latest one, just says war on the front of it. Consider sharing that with people. I think it's a good video to just show we need to start fighting back. And most importantly, please, 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 link in the description again and at the top of the chat, please, here in a half an hour, follow me on Sarah Corriher's channel. Go over there, and it'll be a great show. Me and Sarah are going to talk about the news of the day. So please consider in a half an hour going over there. So, all right, everyone. Thanks so much. I will have a great 4th. I'll be doing my show on the 4th, Saturday, my radio show. You can watch it right here. So, yeah, it'll be nice to talk to everyone there. So, everybody have a great 4th of July. If I don't hear you, join me over in Sarah's channel in half an hour. And as always,